this story I'm about to tell y'all. Um, is why I think you can get in the GBA where you can't get on the rest of 2K, which is why I think the league is dope. So Dark Alliance is formed, right? I believe it was season 13 they first came together. They missed the playoffs. The following season, they lost to Stankabuds. Then they went on the greatest run. Lynx bit me in the finals this season, by the way. Then they went on the greatest run in league history and they four-peated. They never lost. They disbanded. And everyone was talking shit about how Lynx was never going to win without um without Renee and Aram. Oh, it's moving by itself. Pause. Lynx was talking about how they were talking about Lynx like, oh, he's never gonna win. He can only win because he has Renee and Aram. That four Pete, like Renee's his brother, Aram's his boy. They grew up together. That's why the chemistry is crazy. Season 19 happens, and Rampage finally wins their championship. Right? Season 20, for those that weren't here, bro, this was the biggest upset in GBA history at the time. This team was not supposed to be as good as it was. This was like the GBA's version of the 2016 Cavs beating the Warriors, is what this was, right? If you guys were here for the drama of this, bro, like motherfuckers were talking about, because Rampage, this was Rampage versus Yankees, was this right here. This was talked about like it was a wreck game for Rampage. Like they were not gonna beat them. Like nothing was gonna happen, and I'm pretty sure Yankees swept them. My reason for the league being so dope is the drama, but the drama didn't start in season 20. The drama started in the middle of like season 16, 17 when they went back to back and everyone's like break up, you guys can't win with each other. It's not fair. You guys been playing together for all 5 years. So that shit started seasons before. Then they told Lynx he wasn't shit and that Rampage was just going to the whole league voted and they said Rampage was going to sweep them. And then the 2016 finals happened basically where it's the same exact story, right? Because the Warriors had won it the year before against actually Lynx, which was the Cavs in 2015, right? Then in 2016, everybody was saying Rampage was going to beat them in a landslide, and Yankees ends up pulling it off and kicking Rampage's ass, by the way, right? So my reason for the league being dope is because you will never get the historic drama anywhere else. You will never get people discrediting this and then it being settled right here. Okay? And that's why the shit matters. That's why history matters. That's why, like Frizz, if you're still in here, I love the fact that let me put this here. I love the fact that I stopped you from winning a championship because if you go on that year and you win the championship, you have two Mamba Mentality Awards and a ring, and you're on a whole nother upper echelon, right? Where you're like this championship level unstoppable shooting guard, and you were going crazy and blah blah blah. So I love that history between us. So when I see you, are you telling me that you were talking shit to me in that fucking stream when we played, and none of it was based on what happened when we beat you in the playoffs? You can't tell me that doesn't. We every time we talk about it, I know you're mad. You tell me it bothers you. So the history creates it. History does matter. I just condone someone calling someone else ass that they themselves haven't done anything. Fair enough. But what I'm saying, I think that my whole reasoning for the league being dope is that what it is, right? Then this happens, right? So, oh, you just got back. Basically, I'm explaining why the history matters. I don't know. You can go back and watch it. This nigga hates me, bro. All right, so then I'm gonna finish the session with a little history lesson off of what happened from season 20 to 21 and all the way till now, and then we'll get out of here. Right? So season 20 happens, and I hadn't won a championship. Um, Let me see. Hold on one second. I hadn't won a championship since season 11. Okay, and now, um, was that my last chat? I think did I go 11 seasons right? Because I think I won it my rookie year. Yep. So I won it my rookie year. Then we beat Lions Den in season 11, And then all these seasons right here, I did not win a chip. Okay. Then I had to watch Lynx and a group of guys who just wanted it more um, beat another team. So after this finals, right? This was the end of 2K21. We were having a stream, and I said, Lynx, like Lynx solidified his legacy that day. I feel like, right? Like the goat shit. Like I think this was the moment where everyone just like universally knew he was the goat, right? Because he went on this big run with his brother, and I'm over here on the website. You guys can't even see it, bro. I'm the worst. He's over here winning these championships with his brother and his boy from home, and they're like, "Of course you're gonna win. The chemistry's unmatched. That's not real." And then he takes out the 2016 Warriors, right? So I think this was the moment like everyone was like, "This nigga's the goat." Like, what are we gonna say, right? So that moment inspired season 21 for me, because when we were doing the draft show, or whatever we were doing a show. I think it was right before the season 21 draft. I said the only thing I made it to the conference finals. Lynx took me out in a reverse sweep the first time Dark Alliance won the championship. That's tough. And I said, Lynx, I'm coming for you next season. I know you're like the best player ever. You four-peated. You did all this shit with Rampage because they got to come back. And I'm like, my goal is to beat you, right? My goal is I want to be the fucking champion. And watching him do this created this moment for me, right? Because the game came out and I was crazy about beating this fucking guy, right? And the thing about playing Lynx is you never know if you're gonna beat him or not. Like he's beaten me plenty of times, and I've gotten him a couple times too. You just don't know what's gonna happen. So that led to this. Um, and I feel like that's why the history matters, because when you see someone do something, you want that. You want to take that from them, right? And then we had a purge, and then season 22 happened. Um, and Cruz got his Toronto Raptors ring, where like everybody was oddly not playing on their main builds or just spread out across bad teams. This is the Toronto Raptors right here ring with Kawhi. And then Ragnarok happened, right? I lost this finals with John Micah, um, and that caused John to then become a champion, right? In the next season, and he went on a crazy finals run, which caused Ragnarok to be pissed about it and then beat him again in a comeback. And then everybody was talking about how Lynx didn't um didn't win a whole 2K without winning a championship. So what happened in season 26? Lynx wins a championship and then um goes to every finals in 2K23. Well, what happens from there? Then Broadway says, "I want to win a championship with my own team," right? He gets Nels, he trades for me, and then we go take out the champions, right? And he gets his first championship with his own team because that's what he wanted, right? Well, now John has just watched Seeking Greatness and ARAM beat him. He then watches Lynx win, who he wants to beat. Then he watches me and Broadway and Nelson win, who we beat him on the way. And what does that do? That makes him fucking upset. And what happens? And then a fucking three-peat happens. This three-peat was born off the pure fact of this, and this. And that's why history matters. Because everything that happens is relevant to the greatness that this brings. Right? Hold on, hold on. Hold on, I'm almost done. Wait for me. 7 seasons without a ring. You didn't get traded. You BS'd your way to a team. I need that back. Anyways, sorry. My girl's being stubborn. Anyways, so you guys got to understand why the history matters. If John doesn't go through this finals loss, watches Lynx win, then watches me, Broadway, and Nelson win, and beat him on the way, I don't think that this happens. I don't think this motivation happens, bro. That's why you guys got to understand that the history will always matter, not just from the resume, but from the fact that everything that happens before is relevant to the fact of what makes people great. And that's where I'm going to leave it for tonight. So if you didn't watch it, You want to watch the explanation. You don't give a fuck about what I got to say. That's cool. But you guys got to understand that the history is relevant because of the rivalries it creates. It's all it is. And it's a vicious circle, right? I just broke down about three 2Ks of history and why things happened the way they happened. Because the history creates the future. That's what it is. What happened before creates what's happening now, right? So, when you guys say history don't matter, you feel me? Hey, we could do a 30 for 30, bro, and just release that at a draft show. Um, Thank you for the breakdown for those not paying attention in class. Hey, you might want to. I might clip that off a stream and just put it in Discord or something as like a Why History Matters film. Um, because I feel like that was a pretty good breakdown of what um what the GBA is about, right? Like why, like we're a community that just attacks each other, battles each other. But like usually champions are born off of the hatred of watching someone you respect win. I guess is what you say. Because you watch Link's 4Pete, and then everybody tells him he ain't shit, and then he takes a bunch of motherfuckers who didn't, honestly, otherwise probably wouldn't be there, and beats the 2016 Warriors. And I'm watching that shit, and I'm like, bro, there's no way I'm not on the level with these guys. Then I go fucking crazy, and I see Links, and then I see so that run was crazy because I played Lynx and then I played Rampage, who got back to the finals. And I'm like, these niggas have been running the league. Like, I need this tonight. And it made me fucking crazy, right? And then John beats Ragnarok, and Ragnarok beats John. So John goes crazy and averages like 35 and 10 in the next finals. And then Ragnarok is pissed off about losing to John, so they come back and watch that. And then Lynx is watching all this shit and is like, well, fuck these guys. I'm as good as John and fucking Ragnarok. I'm sure he's not trying to watch Renee and all the motherfuckers win. So then he goes and wins. And then Broadway's watching, like, well, fuck these niggas. If they can win, I want to win. So then we win. And then John's watching me and Lynx win. And it's like, fuck them. Here's a three-peat. And that is the GBA in a nutshell. And it is going to keep going until, I guess, 2K is not a thing. Um, This has been episode 18 of Last Take. I'm going to go eat dinner, and y'all have a good night.